Steve here. I just wanted to show you my journal. I have made a spreadsheet and it has definitely grown over the years. But regardless of its code and all its colors and all that business, it's actually quite simple. I have 60 pre-made rows, which is more than enough. If I go over that, then I got some problems. And obviously the first two are headers. So let me explain a little bit. Well, obviously the date. The second header is more so for filtering when I want to do data. Now you don't need all this data, but I'm kind of an A-type personality and I like statistics, and when I go back and research something, I want to be able to have the data, and that's how more and more of this kind of came into play. As I found that I needed more data, I just started getting it. But you certainly don't need it. But in any event, the date, the time I don't do the minute and all that. I just break it down to 15-minute increments. Once I hit 8:01, this is Eastern time. Once I do 8:01 is 8 o'clock. If 8:10, 8:14 is 8 o'clock. As soon as I hit 8:15, 8:20, 25, then it's just 8:15 and so on. So I just do quarters. You could do what you want, but when you start getting into filtering, it's like, how crazy you want to get. So needless to say, then the market obviously is a no-brainer. The type, I'll show you some of the things I have here. The type, what you're going to do. I created this back when I was still doing options. So the only thing I use nowadays is adjustment, but long and short. That's all I really use now. But these are all actually still doable. I haven't done them in a while. The market, these are all the markets that I trade. You always got an adjustment. There's always a couple pennies here and there that sometimes every once in a while have to be like fees for accounting fees or whatever they call all those stupid fees. Anyway, so these are the markets, time, where was I? Strategy. These are all the strategies. Now I've kind of filtered some of these down. These are the main ones. And actually I could probably go through here again and get rid of some of the strategies that, but this is designed on a list, so I can't just create strategies. I can only pick this list. And I don't have to actually sit here with the drop down and click it. I could just, you'll see as I go forward with it. And then I have assistance. Sometimes I get assistance, whether it be a chart, whether it be regardless, it's just nothing. Anyway, then you have my trade settings. I have two groups of trade settings. I have two different types of rules, I should say. I use NextGen, and then I use Pro 9 Trader, and we can go into details if you want on that. But my rules, let me just go briefly over to my rules. My rules are all right here. Last revised 11/21, but these are all of mine, and I have it. So the one that I probably do the most and I like is the momentum, and that's right here, and that's a Pro 9 rule. So that here would do the Pro 9 rules. Every one of my rules, and I got this actually from John Carter, not Trading in His Zone. John Carter, was it? I forget the name of the book, but in any event, everything is graded in 5, ranked, I should say. When I put on a trade, it's ranked, and I would lie to you if I said that everything was ranked to 5. As we all know, that doesn't sometimes happen, but they are obviously in priority. So my background color is a match, check. My arrow, check. My ribbon, check. My direction, check. And maybe I got in early and I didn't wait for that DPI. If you don't know what any of these are, then we could talk later. But in any event, I didn't enter on that when I got in a little. So that would be ranked a 4. So that way, when I do my statistics, I could, and then here in notes, I'll do -5, meaning I was short on 5, or I was missing 2. So that way I can kind of come back to those rules and say, oh, I was missing 2, that was the white arrow. Well, obviously that was silly. Don't want to do that. But needless to say, I would love to have nothing but 5s, and I would say I'm slowly getting better at it. Years of experience of impulse trades, and actually I don't like to see these, but I'd again be lying to you if I didn't have them. Needless to say, I would love to see all 5s, and I'm getting better. The broker, I have different accounts, so that's just my thing. You don't need to have this if you start your own journal. And then the account, I have a couple different accounts, etc. And even have paper in there too. And then you have your opening market. So let's just go ahead and do one here. So everything starts. Oh, well, did I finish? Okay, quantity, notes. This is two things. It's the day's negative value based on the statistics. As I start entering data in, after it gets the first trade in on the second, and therefore it will give me an average of my back or my against me, the average that it went against me, and that's just based on data. It's getting a little too detailed for this video, so I don't want to go there. But in any event, I have my T1, target 1, and target 2. I typically only do 2. Occasionally I've done 3, but I usually do 2 contracts. Sometimes I'll do 1. That's where I basically started out, but it's grown to 2, and actually I have to kind of change some things for 3, but I don't really trade 3. I don't like that right now in my stage. But anyway, getting back to that John Carter, I said everything was ranked with the grade, and I love to see 5s. That 5 just gives me the average on that second column. It just gives me the average, so as I get more of them, it changes the average. But needless to say is that after my trade is done, I also grade it, and the same thing. Obviously, there's a grade value there, and I would love to see all 5s. There's nothing but 5s. Basically, 5s mean it hit my target. 4s mean that I didn't lose money, but I didn't hit my target. 3 is a break even, $50 one way or the other. 2 is I got stopped out, or I got out, but not at a total stop. And 1 is I got stopped out and all the way, and that's not good. So at least 2 if I got out a little early, or maybe I got 1 contract broke even, the other one got me out, so it's a wash. So it's a 2. But needless to say, everything gets ranked and everything gets graded. So if I want to go see how my statistics are doing, I could say, let me see all my trades that were ranked as a 5, that were true good trades. And then obviously, not all of them are going to be graded at 5. I mean, some are losers, no big deal. Some are just break even, etc. But the point of it is, if I have all my rankings are 5s, then I get a bottom line. If I say, give me all my rankings that only ranked at a 3, obviously you kind of want to stay away from 3s because it shows in the numbers. So it is what it is. So everything gets ranked, everything gets graded when it's done, every trade. And this really, if you think, oh, God, this is a lot for every trade, it's really not. I do it when I put on the trade and I punch it in, and it's just lickety split. It doesn't take that. There have been a couple of days where the market is just going so fast that I just can't keep up with it, and then I just do it later, or sometimes I'll just put an adjustment in there and say, blank trades for the day, and then a grand total, and I just don't have any statistics for that day. But that's just once in a blue moon. So I'll show you how easy it is. So you're getting ready to put on a trade. You see it, and now you put it on, or you're thinking about putting it on, or you're at a point. So you come over here and you put in your date, and everything starts with a date. So now everything that's yellow means there needs to be data. So let's say it's 8 o'clock, and we're going to do, I don't know, we want to do crude, and what do you want to do? Long, and the strategy is going to be, I'll do my favorite. Now, the first time you put it in here, you obviously got to pick it, but after that, just hit M, and it'll just find it. Assistance, none. This is a Pro 9 rule. Obviously, it's a 5, and we're just waiting for it to take. So this could all be pre-filled out. I mean, you could put in your broker. Let's just do a paper trade right there. And actually, you even know your entry. So let's say crude is going to go $48. So, and you even know how many. So right now, you see there's no order because I haven't been filled. So this is all pre-filled out, or could be all pre-filled out, or you could wait. If it's quickly and you're in it, then you come back to it later. It's really simple, not that much. But right now we're just waiting for it to take, and it took. So let's say boom, it took 2 contracts. So now we're in. So my stop is 48.08. That's based on 8 ticks stop loss. I could change that, but anyway, there's my original stop. It pops in there, 2 contracts. I could put some notes down there saying opening or news or after news or before news, or any kind of notes that you want. And all right, so now the first contract hits, and let's say it hits. Oh, I'm sorry, that 4808 is not my stop, that's my target. So I got it, 4808, boom, and I just made the 8 ticks. It shows me it's still in open order because I don't have my second one done. So let's say that 2 got out at 4808, whatever. And boom, the order's basically done. Now, if you notice over here, this is a paper trade because we selected paper. There's no grade, so it's not going to give me any value. So let's say, that's a 4. We didn't make our target because T2 really didn't take off. It wasn't a runner, but we certainly made money. We didn't lose money because we got out a nice price. So it's a 4 because we made more than break even plus, but we didn't really truly hit our target. So I'm just going to give it a 4. Boom. So there you go. Now these last two, and there's our $160, and then net. The last two. The negative. So let's say, how much did it retrace? I usually put in there how much did it retrace prior to hitting my target. So let's say we got in at 48. My target was 4808, but it went down to 47. I don't know, 99. Okay. So now I know, and you can kind of go look over here statistically. It went down 1 tick negative against me. Now that might not be important now, and let's say how high did it go? Let's say it went to 4810. Okay, that's done, and you could actually read what that means here. But in any event, you can pause it if you want to read it. In any event, this trade is done. It's complete. This might not be relevant, those numbers at the end, but when you are getting to the next trade, you can see how it starts to play a role. And then when you're starting to do statistics, you want to say, well, is my stop really enough? And you can go back and pull these statistics and you say, on average, of my trades that are ranked at a 5, or if you want to see how much they retrace on a trade that's ranked a 3 or whatever, but if you take a 5 ranking trade and you say, how much on average does it retrace when I enter, you could have an average. And let's do a second one. So boom, here's another one. It's still 8 o'clock. We'll put another one on. We'll go long. It's a momentum again. So it's P9. It's ranked at 5 again. We'll just do the same thing quickly. Let's just, for simplicity, let's say $48 again. And boom, 2 contracts there. So my target at G2 here is 4808. And you can see my stop is going to be, my average stop, based on statistics, was 47.99. Now that will change as I get more and more data for the day, and this is only the day. Once I start a new day, it will clear this out because every day is different. Some days are different, so you can't say on average. You can. I mean, you have this data in the computer. It's not going to go away. So you could pull long-term data, but for today, so far with one statistic, which isn't a lot, it's retraced 1 tick. So there we go. So let's say this time it retraces a little bit. Let's say, let's go back and get a 48. Let's say we made money again. We made our 8 ticks, and this time let's go, I don't know, 15, and yeah, let's hit our target. So that's fine. Now, how much did it retrace? So let's say it did 47.90. Let's say it went down a little bit and it went up to 48. I'll say 20. Okay. So here we go. So now we'll do it again. So it's still 8 o'clock. Cruising right along. 48. I'm just doing longs. I mean, if I could do shorts, it doesn't really matter. So again, 2 ticks. Now you notice my target is 47.92. It's opposite because I want to go down. So let's say I hit that target at 47.92. Boom, my ticks over here is, I just made 8 ticks on that. Now I'm waiting for my second contract, and let's say it goes to 47.90. And it went down a little bit more. Okay, fine. So it's a 4. I don't want to do that. That's a warning for drawdown, but I'm making too much money. So let's say this is a loser. Let's say it went up to 48.03. I don't know, and then so it's there. So 50 bucks. So we'll grade that a 3 because it's break even. So it retraced against me. It went to 48. I don't know, 48.03. Let's say. Make it simple. And I went down to 47.92 as my max move. So that's fine. So this is all statistics. Really, you don't even have to worry about those if you're going to do a journal, paper journal, whatever. You really don't need to do that. This is really, truly more for some stats if you're trying to see how much, on average, this particular market will move. So you could expect, and I could tell you, crude, you know, if you can get 20 ticks, that's a nice average. You know, there's no reason why you can't get 20 ticks move on crude. So based on averages. And every day is different, but again, that's where those statistics come from. So let's do one contract. So let's say this, I'm not feeling too great about it. CL, let's do short again. It's a momentum, it's a P9 rules, it's a, let's say this time we're ranking it a 4. That's why I'm only going to put one contract on it, because I'm missing, I don't know, something. So 48 again, and I'm going to say one contract. Now you notice here, this is gray shaded, obviously, because it's not applicable. So we go to 47.90, boom, trade's over. So in order to get money, we have to grade it. So there we go. Oh, darn it. I don't want to start getting into that. That's a new subject. The whole orange is caution. That means you're in a drawdown mode, basically, because you've made it, you know, want that euphoria to kick in. And again, that's John Carter stuff. And it's so true when you start talking about money management and psychology. This kind of controls it a little bit. So just, that's another video. So I'll just make this a loser. I'll make this 47.90. I lost a lot. Yeah. Oh no, I was short, right? So I went 48.10. That's what I want. That's a loser. So I'll keep that as a 1 because it's a loser. Hit my stop and kicked me out, so it went against me all the way to my stop. So a negative against me was 48.10. My positive was, I don't know, let's say it went to 47.99, whatever. Okay, that's it. Now this should match Ninja or whatever trading platform you're on. Doesn't matter. There's your there and there's your that, and this is all paper. If you traded it, I've got another couple other accounts. So you can see if I change that to a live account, it's over here, this one, and these 3 are over here paper accounts. So again, you could still keep track of it, but yet for statistical purposes, they're there. And that is my journal. Now there's a bunch of math that I've put behind all this, and there's a bunch of stuff it has to take into account just for education. It has to pull data from my markets. It looks at the market, it looks at the tick value, the tick size, tick value, fees, etc. It comes there because it has to pull up. This is based on the tick size is based, and the tick value is based on whatever it is you put in that category. If you're putting in the crude markets, if I change that to gold, let's go find gold, GC. See now that the tick value on that is different. It just changed. So, well, gold, it is different. See right there? So, anyway, no big deal. So, that is my trading journal. And whether if you do that on a notepad, it doesn't matter. You can do it in the computer, do it in a notepad, but the point of it is you'll have your statistics, and at a later date on a weekend, you can go back and look. And if I strongly, if any advice I could possibly give you, the biggest one is rank your, even if you don't grade them, rank your trades. If you have more than 5 rules, and I've always made mine 5, even if there's 3, I'll make them 5. I'll add in there, you know, like for instance, there's some rules that only have 4, so I'll make a 5th one. I'll say room to target. You know, it's an easy one, but the point of it is I got to have 5. Sometimes if they have 6 rules, and that happens occasion, depending on, actually I don't trade anything that has 6 rules anymore, but there was a time when I had 6 rules, and you can kind of combine. I mean, a lot of times there's ways that you can combine. There's 2 rules that you can kind of stick into one. You know, you got to have an up arrow and a green background. Okay, well that doesn't have to be 2 separate rules. You can stick that together as one. So you can make them 5. If you want to make them 10, I don't care how you grade them or rank them, but regardless, somehow you got to rank them. because you know, and everybody knows, that not every trade that you're going to put on is going to be an A plus one. So by pulling up statistics, you know, you really got to filter those ones out that you cheated on, because otherwise it skews the other numbers. So you really do got to rank them. So in any event, if you need anything else, give me a call. Go from there. This is a lot. Obviously, it's a lot bigger, and the drawdowns and oh god, it goes on and on. But anyway, that's my journal. I've made this all myself. I had help. I did have help doing one formula with somebody. If you're into Excel at all, you could just see some of these formulas here. Some of these are doozies. If you're into any of that kind of stuff, but you can see these formulas are just if that. I mean, like if this, then that, then this, and this. If it does this, does that. I'm kind of proud of that, actually. I did it all myself. Anyway, if you have any questions, give me a call. We'll figure it out. Okay, thanks.